Hello everyone, this is Luigi, and welcome to part I have literally no idea, maybe like 80-ish of Let's Play Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Yeah, I've been recording these far faster than I actually am uploading them. And I don't know why I forgot what word I was going to say there, but that is I guess it's of importance. So anyway, I'm trying to think of what all kinds of crazy crap I'm going to be doing here. I don't know why, I mean, maybe the fact I am just rotating the C-stick up is screwing it up since it's, like, too busy registering the diagonals of the C-stick that couldn't be properly emulated with the real C buttons on the 64 controller or something, but it works fine when I do that for the Elegy of Emptiness. Oh well. Anyway, as I had suspected, this temple actually isn't that bad. It's like way more intimidating than it should have been. And I swear like half the rooms are just way too big for the sake of being way too big, and I sure have a lot of modifiers besides way in my vocabulary. I like how I timed this so I have the one form that cannot jump across this on at the end, but oh well. Anyway, it's not obvious, but you actually need to do this in the order of right, left, up, because otherwise the blocks will get stuck in front of each other or something. That's a little bit of a weird puzzle. I didn't even know it existed, but I guess that's how they can justify having all three in a row, and that little bug guy will become important later. And by later, I mean like 20 minutes later, since this dungeon is like really weirdly short. It's actually something I haven't seen much in Zelda games. There's actually a bunch of like actual hard platforming and racing and stuff. You have to use the, I want to call them dudes, I mean the different controls of the characters to their absolute best. And once again, pointless getting back thing. It's not like there was an owl statue there. It's not like the owl song is. I guess you could skip it, but that would be a really weird, dumb thing to do. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'm gonna need my hook shot and arrows out again. This not inverted temple, spoilers, it inverts eventually, has like the most annoying enemies. Bombchus are retarded and dragonflies are retarded. They're both too hard to hit and intimidating-ish. Anyway, other than being like very aesthetically confusing, this dungeon really isn't so bad. There is one tricky part which I'll point out when I get to, but basically it involves making things push to limits further than I thought they could actually go. Anyway, that's interesting. This is like a guy with his tongue sticking out, and that's all it's going to look like, right? Anyway, for some reason, every single stray fairy in here is in a chest, and the some reason for that is because, all of the things in this game are hook shots. Anyway, if you can lure a bombchu over here. Wow, I didn't manage to do that in my practice run with like all 12 bombchus are in here, and I did that fine here. Anyway, these, I think they're big, or maybe they're just like, they weren't in Ocarina of Time, were they? I don't remember them. Anyway, this is an interesting new element added to the bombin puzzles, or I don't know why I call them bombin when they're Elegy of Emptiness. But yeah, one of the switches is big, so you have to use the Goron, which doesn't really affect much. Wow. And oh, come on, where are you, last bombchus? I hear you somewhere. Whatever, and let me just check something. As you can see, I mean, it should be pretty obvious that you invert this level somehow. Okay, for some reason, when you enter this room upside down, I could have sworn another switch had something above it, but I think I just got lost in this room so much it confused me. But anyway, yeah, if you don't want to bother playing the song over and over as Zora and regular Link, you can you're forced to use at least one of these, considering there are 4 switches and the Deku can't press down switches. But if you want, you can just do that and only have to have one other transformation besides Link, which would naturally be the Goron, because I assume crates can't weigh down the Goron things either. And you are sadly mistaken if you think you can get through that gate without playing this song and keeping all the switches pressed down. It is immediately drops back down. No dramatic close in animation or anything, just straight closes. Anyway, this puzzle is a little bit tricky to figure out if you don't see the hint in the next room, but luckily I have seen the hint in the next room, which is that Tattle looks up where this would have been closed off and says, "What did that? Go explore!" And I'm like, okay, I will. But anyway, with that, you get to break that open, and you can see that there's another room in the end. And here are the, I believe, only instance of Armos in this game, at least standard Armos. For some reason I'm feeling like that's wrong now, but I don't think it is, and stupid blast mask, it should just become unequipped automatically and not let you equip it again until you recharge it. But anyway, unfortunately Armos die in one hit, so they have no, at least with Goron, and the only time they appear is like right here where you would be a Goron anyway. Let's see if this works. I didn't actually try that. Well, that's disturbingly good. Wow. And yeah, once you kill them all, you get another chest. I don't remember if it's actually useful once it inverts, because yeah, the reason I sort of alluded to, but didn't actually outright say why the chests are important in this tower is because you can hookshot to them when it's inverted. You only have to do it once or twice, but I guess it's helpful for shortcutting around, and for some reason I thought you had to use the Lens of Truth here. I think that's supposed to look like Majora with the spikes and purpleness or something, but it looks sort of like the Lens of Truth to me, but that probably will piss off all the old-timey Zelda fans who want to attribute everything ever to the Sheikah. So pretend I didn't say anything. You know, this is actually a really cool last dungeon because it has a bunch of different trials and tribulations for all of your different forms, even brings back some Deku puzzles. And this is far and away the thing in the game I've had the most trouble with. I can't even do this yet because I don't have light arrows. Yeah, you only have to use the thingy once or twice more because thing. Anyway, I could go up here now, but it's too hard and I'm gonna do it later. Anyway, this hand seems like a bit of a silly enemy right here because there's no reason for it to be actually hard or anything. It actually is very cleverly used later. It's not very important to anything, but I still think it's clever. And I spent so long in this room since it's so sodding huge for like no real reason. It is sort of evidenced why it's so huge once you get to the next part of the game, but this is just like so confusing. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 12 treasure chests in here since you get the compass soon, and you can see that there's just infinity treasure chests everywhere since there's 15 just for the fairies, plus however many more on top of that for keys. I guess they're like 3 keys. And then the natural dungeon treasures. But anyway, another locked door up here, and oh crap, I did have to do that Zora thing immediately because this actually introduces you to a really cool puzzle element, I think. This mirror charges up as you put light on it, and then it'll emit light for as long as you've shown light on it earlier, so you have to use it to do stuff like that, which I just paled at for until you get the light arrows, at which you can just use them to solve all light-related puzzles, and I wanted to charge that up longer, and unfortunately, after you let go, it automatically does that. Most of the time I get it at some weird angle. This is like the first time I can think of that I'm not holding down the control stick for what it's worth. I'm not sure why taking my finger off the control stick and waving it around would prove that to you. But, oh well, I made decent headway in this first part, I guess. Got all the way into the temple. Stupid bomb shoes glitched out. I don't think you can go behind that wall, but it sure made it look like you could. Yeah, I mean, the first part isn't even over yet. I got the thingy and the thingy. This doorway, let me see if I can prove it to you using a map. It just leads back into the first room, which is a bit of a downer if you played through it like I just did and have seen absolutely no evidence for other keys. You can dick around in this room as long as you care to, and you are not going to find any keys in it, which would make sense considering there are 2 chests in here. At least 2. I think it's 2 floored and the other floor has a chest too. But no, it turns out you just need to do something like this. And yes, that jump is possible. I did not think it was, but if you time everything perfectly, I'm just gonna break these to make myself have more room. And that noise is a I'm trying to remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. It's a Igor, yeah, and it's like my favorite enemy. It's mostly in 2D games. This is the only time it's appeared in 3D, which I think is really cool. But a lot of stuff in this game I think is really cool. But anyway, yeah, once you glitch up here, not really glitching up here, but yeah, this pissed me off. This is where the small key is, and if you wanted, you could probably enter the other way and use the keys in the opposite order or something, or just totally ignore one of the keys. I don't know.